Darklings, back with another sketchbook show and tell. This is number 16. So we have a Moon Goddess Market. I think this was supposed to be a bumper sticker. Someone sent me this one. Angel Spit. And then we got Ranch, which is the local punk. Sugar House Coffee, which is a local coffee place. Sovereign and Moon Goddess Market. So I always have an eclectic variety of stickers. Angel Spit and Sovereign again. This was what my old business cards looked like when I very first started making a business card when I was about 20. So that was a while ago. I still had a handful of them left, so I glued them into stuff. This is really funny because my freshman year roommate dropped this sticky note on something and I thought I lost it, and then I found it all of a sudden. May Graves. This ended up being a tattoo design I put on a coworker before he left and was no longer a coworker. This one I actually drew up in Procreate, and these are old postcards that I found. I think this ended up being a tattoo design for someone. I read a book called Shadow Song. I can't remember the name of the author right now, but the description of Der Erkonog made me think of this, so I thought that was kind of a fun sketch to do. These are a couple of unfinished, sort of serif looking sketches. I just did the outlines and then forgot to actually finish them. Sometimes that happens. Sketchbooks are like that. This little fawn never quite came to fruition. Lunation Leathers does some very fun stuff. I think I finished this one digitally and put it in one of my zines. As with all my sketchbooks, there are plenty of random little memes and things to keep me amused. Bought stuff from Dead Good Jewelry, testing out some pens. So I ended up watching the Toronto-based 3-season vampire detective show Forever Night, and I wanted to draw the main character, Nick Knight. It was a very dumb show, but I was very entertained by it. Seeing Mamma Mia. I did not know what that play was about. Like, I knew the songs and stuff, but I didn't know what the play was about until I saw it and went, oh, this is a lot. It was quite ridiculous. I like going to, like, little fortune teller machines, and so I got one of those. This ended up being a tattoo design for somebody. I ended up tattooing this on myself, which was kind of a bad idea, mostly because my sizing wasn't exact. I should have done slightly different sizing to make it work better, but oh well, my mistake. This was supposed to be Mr. Pointy from Buffy. I was going to tattoo on my coworker, and he still hasn't let me do it, mostly because he just is not a big fan of getting tattooed. Sometimes that happens. Another thing I never finished. That's kind of what happens with sketchbooks quite a lot. Some more sketches. I think this one actually ended up in my zines, but this one didn't. This one's of Sakara. A little bit of Yarrow sketch. The red pencil got some little mushroom people. That was kind of fun. One of my internet friends, sweetheart that she is, Trini, does the Asylum Countess. Please go give her art a look. She does some nice stuff. And this was another friend from college that I decided to make all fancy with a big knife. I was experimenting with some other brush pens I had that were in color, but I don't know if that experiment actually worked. Some foxes playing in a fountain. There's a local shadow cast that does it for Reapologetic Opera each spring. And I've gone several times. Actually, I think the last time I went was when Terrence Adenick was there, who played Grave Robber, which was, I think, the third time that I met him. That was weird. How to Talk to Girls at Parties and Clueless were two very different movies that didn't necessarily go together. But I did it as a double feature at 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. I am mad that I never put this in any zines or anything because I liked my little Borzoi graveyard creature. I think it was just the way that this split down the middle goes. I just couldn't really find a way to transfer it. And then my little vile spider creatures. So when I saw Hereditary, I saw it in the theater, as a double feature with Point Break, which is the weirdest double feature I think I've been to, which is saying something. But it was a bit of a palate cleanser to see Point Break after Hereditary, because I didn't know what I was getting into with Hereditary. Like, no one had ruined the hype for me or anything. And I do like it. I think it's a lot. I'm not one of those people that laughed, like some people I know, at one of the twists in it. But, yeah, it was kind of a good thing to have Point Break after. That being said, I ended up sitting in my friend's driveway and we were talking so long that my car battery died and I needed to jump at 3 a.m, so that wasn't really my favorite thing in the world. I think I was trying to do thumbnails for something. I can't remember. Jurassic World, the second one, Fallen Kingdom, I think it was. I thought it was still really fun. Mary Shelley, with Elle Fanning as Mary Shelley. I thought this one was quite good. It wasn't perfect by any stretch, but I still thought it was a pretty solid biopic, and I thought it was well done enough. This one being a tattoo design for someone. These were just kind of fun because I just drew some random circles and then just picked random things out of my reference folder to sketch in ballpoint. So that was just kind of a fun exercise. This was my friend Trini, made all creepy with a little bit of red. Little comic. I go to used bookstores much more frequently than I go to non-used bookstores, and they always have a very particular smell, and I like it even though it is quite dusty. I can't remember what this was about. I found this in a used book. Tommy, you're a jerk. I'm leaving with Hannah. You better cry about it. I just thought that was impressively funny for some reason because I just found it in a used book and was reading it and minding my business and found that, and it was just ridiculous. So these are actually supposed to be kind of the three main characters in a novel I've been fighting for years, and who knows if it'll ever get finished, and I still cannot describe the plot adequately, but I tried. I tried to kind of do some sketching so that it might make it a little bit easier for me to think about the settings, and it didn't really work, I guess, because I never finished the sketches. This is from when I very first started reading Discworld. So I read the first, 5 books this particular summer in 2018. And in the first 2 books, I thought the luggage was like the funniest part. And death is great. And in, oh my goodness, which one is it? Mort. He just semi-retires to be a fry cook for a minute. I just never quite finished the sketch. I just thought this reference image was really kind of cool, and so I thought that would make a fun ballpoint sketch. Pink Floyd The Wall was one that I went to and was super unimpressed with. I just thought it was kind of like, it was fine. Like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't really like it either, but I was surrounded by all these guys, and they were all guys, like a very particular kind of guy that grew up with this movie, and it's their favorite movie in the world, and I think you really need to get some more taste, because this was just not that interesting. I was trying to do some kind of fun options because there was one girl who wanted a Van Gogh-inspired heart, so we were trying to sketch something up based off of that. Night Eats the World was kind of an interesting French zombie film. I mean, it was in English, but it was a perspective on a zombie invasion that I hadn't quite seen before, and I thought it was quite interesting. This was, I think, the second or third time I'd seen The Love Witch in the theater. I'm rather fond of it. It's not a perfect film, but I do enjoy it. My friend Natalie from college made a bone rosary thing. This was kind of a fun sketch, just going with an amorphous blob. I think, okay, so this is actually when I was in Costa Rica. And so this is from the Doka Coffee Tour, because we went to the Doka Coffee Plantation. And this was just a random little light that I found. And so there's just like a couple of really random little stickers and stuff. So I went to Costa Rica for 2 weeks with my mom. And this type of wood that's in the background was really frequent. Like, I could see it around a lot. I saw coffee with Pam Grier. That was a crazy one. This is the only thing that I really drew the whole time that I was in Costa Rica. It was pretty much just this. I'm very fond of the Goblin Market, and Rossetti did some illustrations for that poem for his sister. I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't even know who this is supposed to be or what's going on with that. I just don't know. Idiocracy was one of those movies that might have been funny when it came out, but ended up being just sort of horrifying when I saw it. I was just like, oh no, reality is creeping in a little bit too close. This is bad. So Idiocracy was rough. I was trying to ink this and my pen exploded, so I didn't finish it. So I ended up just roughly sketching these creepy hands. I thought that was just kind of a fun exercise. Erasure. Someone actually took me to that. Like, she had an extra ticket because her daughter didn't end up wanting to go, and she invited me to come with. And I like Erasure enough that I thought it was fun. It was worth going to. I think that these were from a dream. I don't really remember. This is also from the Goblin Market. I was trying to figure out if I could build a puppet, and so I was doing some schematics and then realized I do not have it in me to make a puppet because I don't have that kind of patience. I was trying to do more of these little circular sketches. You can still see where the ink bled through again. And then I ended up just doing the one and I didn't do the other. Faster Pussycat Kill Kill is one of those cult films you kind of have to see. It is just kind of insane and definitely a riot and worth watching if you can find it. I've been looking for it on DVD since I first saw it when I was like 20, and I still haven't found it at a price that I'm okay with, so that's a pain in the ass. I think these ended up being tattoo designs that people had asked for. McQueen, which is a documentary on Alexander McQueen, who's one of my unsurprisingly favorite costume designers. This was a really interesting documentary. I did appreciate it. I think it's on Netflix now, but seeing it in the theater was kind of fun. I think these were just tattoo flash ideas or just general doodles to have on hand. I think I ended up tattooing this sword on a couple of different people. I didn't want to do this tattoo especially, but it's from a thing. It's from an anime that I've never watched because I don't watch anime, and I tattooed it in the middle of his back, so there's that. I was trying to experiment with block prints. I don't know, they didn't really work, but I did, I cut soft block prints and then just stamped them, and I just didn't have the best of luck with them, but oh well. Election, I want to say that one's from 1999 with Reese Witherspoon. That was a weird movie. That was kind of a rough one. This print turned out a little bit better. Shrine of Hollywood. I have this particular coat that's very dramatic, my dramatic pirate coat, and I got it on discount, and it's from Shrine, so I mean, it was still a little bit of money, but I'm really glad I bought it. This is, I cannot remember his name right now. Anyway, we're mutuals on Instagram, and I found this image on Tumblr, drew it, and then they were tagged, and so then we ended up following each other, which was rather funny. I have the reoccurring problem where I save tons of reference images, and I'm not always very good about remembering where they're from, and so I'm bad at tagging people when I should. I think I was trying to do a comic based off of a magpie rhyme, and it didn't quite happen. Florence and the Machine is one of the best concerts I've ever been to. I even captured a couple of the little confetti pieces. My friend and I got right up at the front. We were right up by the front, and my friend was standing next to me, and Florence is her favorite musician in the world, and Florence actually grabbed her head and sang directly to her. I was very happy for her. It was a great show. It was really awesome, so I enjoyed that quite a bit. Started another sketch I didn't finish. There's tons of that. I have a lot of people that will ask why I read so much, because I do read a lot, and this one was just like, yeah, if I don't read, my brain gets weird, and I can't function. Mandy with Nicolas Cage was a crazy film that I am glad to have seen in the theater. It was a riot. It's very strange. I'd seen another film from that same director whose name is escaping me right now, Beyond the Black Rainbow, and I actually kind of encourage people to watch Beyond the Black Rainbow before Mandy if they can, because it kind of helps set the context a little bit, even though it's still going to be bizarre and not make a ton of sense either way. Let the Corpses Tan was from the same director who did, oh my goodness, what is it? Amer, and I want to say something, I can't remember. There was another like Neo Giallo movie that they did, and Let the Corpses Tan was kind of like spaghetti westernish. I don't know. I had mixed feelings on it. It was not my favorite. It was kind of interesting, but it had like a good style to it. I just wasn't super into it. Oslo was a really weird play that had to just do with like a conference that I didn't know about. These are from some enamel pins. Bad Reputation was a documentary on Joan Jett. I thought that was a riot. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Joan Jett's very cool. I like that this is Theta Bara on a business card for something I can't remember what it's from. Scream and Be Free. This was kind of a gift from my friend. Vixen from Michelin Pit. There's several cards in there. One of my friends from college, she did all these fine little details. I don't actually think there's... I don't know what's in here. There's always something back here. I just never know what it is. So... Oh, I got this Gemstone Cameo, and it was made out of agate and it's hand-carved and everything. My coworker did this as a Christmas present where he gave me some free tattoo time, and we were having some really foggy weather, and so he did a little pyramid head. So, Ruben's quite funny. But, yeah, and that's another sketchbook down. Creeping ever closer to being caught up. Because eventually I'll get caught up and only do sketchbook show and tells as they're finished. Till next time, Ruben's.